Hello and welcome to this lesson. Today we're looking at 5 tips for your financial future. So this is in level 2, this is in the final topic. Okay, so this is in unit 7, which is work and industry. Okay, so let's get started. What we might like to do before we do anything else is do the quiz, which is on our Schoology page. The instructor should have enabled this for you. So you listen, and then there's some vocabulary that you then have to put into. So first you listen to the speaker talking about these words. So this is some important financial vocabulary that we need for this lesson. And then we need to complete these sentences using these 3 words. So we can, on your Schoology quiz, you can drag them down. I wanted to save each money, so a savings account. So I probably established. And then here also some more sentences with another word bank, and you just need to write the correct words in. And here the same, but here you haven't got a word bank. Okay. So it's a useful exercise that will help you get better acquainted with the vocabulary that we need in this lesson. Right, okay, so 5 tips for your financial future. And the skills work today is listening for key details that use imperatives. Okay, so if the speaker wants to give you some strong advice, they might use the imperative form to show that this advice is very important. It might sound like an order. Okay, so for example, get a college degree, put some money in the bank, do not use credit cards, don't use credit cards. So the imperative form, yes, it sounds quite authoritative, might even sound like an order. Yeah? Okay, so let's listen to this part of a lecture giving students some strong financial advice, and let's try and write down the imperatives that the speaker uses, okay? And we'll listen to this together because it's quite short.
6. 5 tips for your financial future. Page 77. Try it out.
Now, some of you may have heard these ideas from your parents, but it never hurts to hear it again. My first piece of advice is this: finish your studies. Whether you're in high school or in college, this is extremely important. If you don't, it'll be much harder to go back to school when you're older. Second, save some money for emergencies. We all have emergencies now and then, right? If you put some money into a special account, you'll have an emergency fund. You won't have to worry about how to pay for a car repair, for example. Final tip: don't use credit cards if you don't have to. If you want but don't need something, I say pay with real money.
Okay. If you need to listen to that again, please listen to it again. You can find it on your course page. Okay, it's called this, 5 tips for your financial future, skills focus. Yeah? But let's check this together. So the first one, finish your studies. Save some money for emergencies. And last one, don't use credit cards if you don't have to. Yeah. So it gives us three important bits of advice here. Yeah? Okay, what I want you to do now, I want you to listen again. We're not going to listen again here, but I want you to listen again. And complete the notes, okay? Add more detail to the notes. He says finish your studies. Does he give us more information? Yes, he does. Can you write down some of that additional information? Okay, so listen again and do that. Okay, he says it's extremely important. He says it'll be much harder to go back to school when you're older. Yeah, so those are additional details. Number 2, you won't have to worry about how to pay for a car repair, for example. Yeah. So it says put it into a special account. So not just keep it in one big account, but have a separate savings account for emergencies. Don't use credit cards. He says pay with real money. Okay, so that's additional information. Yeah? All right, so we can see that using this imperative form is a way of giving our audience key details. That's important when we're listening. It's also important when we're speaking. Yeah. If you're speaking, if you feel there's something really important that you need to tell your audience, you might consider using this imperative form to tell your audience what you're saying. Yeah. Right, okay, now let's go ahead and watch the lecture and take some notes. And after the lecture, there will be some questions that we need to answer. Okay, so you can find the lecture on your media album, which is on your course page. This is the file name, 5 tips for your finance, and it's 6 minutes 43. Okay, if you want to download it, you can download it. If you want to watch it from Schoology, you can watch it from Schoology. We're not going to watch it here. Okay, so watch the lecture, take some notes, and then we can answer some questions. Okay, you might need to watch the lecture maybe twice, maybe even 3 times. Yeah, watch it as many times as you want. Pause this video, come back, and we will check our answers together. Okay, we've given you a simple template just to get you started. Yeah, so we know that there are five tips. So we've given you the start of the first tip. You need to complete it, and the space here for you to take some notes as well. Okay. Right, so pause this video, head over to Schoology, watch the lecture, come back, and we will check our answers together. Yeah. So if you want to see an example of the notes that I took, you can find those on Schoology. Just wait for it to open. Taking too long. Let's try to reload. So these are some notes that I took when I was watching the lecture. Yeah. So get a college degree. Here are my, let me download this and open it. Okay, it'll be a bit easier for us to look at. Let me shift myself over here. So get a college degree even if you think it's not necessary. So you see that I use this exclamation mark that means not. Yeah, it's not necessary. It's a big investment, it's a lot of time, and it's a lot of money. What does that say? BA, so a bachelor's is a 4-year degree. More than twice. So this is about people who earn money, yeah? So people with a bachelor's degree earn more than twice those without a bachelor's degree. So almost twice. So in the US, people will earn $2.1 million versus $1.2 million of those without a degree. Credit cards, be careful. The average debt in the US is $8,000. Takes years to pay off. Interest of 22% means 1,220 is your total after just 1 year. Yeah. Prepare for an emergency, establish a special account, pay into it regularly. So that's from the skills advice that we also heard earlier. And it can make you feel good. Invest some money. If you're nervous, it's not difficult, money grows. You can put it in a low risk fund. And again, this down arrow saves me time when I'm writing. You can hire somebody to invest, and books and websites for help. So this short language is very useful when we're taking notes, but we shouldn't use it in our answers or in our essays. 5 to 10% YOY, year on year. 5 to 10% increase year on year. Save for retirement, small amounts grow. And I think this is a note about the next lecture, 5 strategies for secure financial future. Okay, so those are my notes. Not very beautiful, but they do the job. Yeah? Okay, so what are the 5 tips? Well, that's from here. Yeah. On average, how much more does a person with a college degree make? How much more? Well, we can see from my notes, they make approximately twice more, 2.1 million versus 1.2 million, so $900,000. What is $8,000? It's the average US credit card debt. Yeah, so the average debt in the US on credit cards. Why should we be careful with credit cards? Because of the interest rate. Yeah? 22% interest suddenly makes it quite expensive. How can we prepare for unexpected events? With an emergency account, okay, so a special account, and pay into it regularly. What are 2 things you should do with your money if you don't like taking risks? You can hire somebody to invest it for you. You can put it into a low-risk fund. Yeah? You can use books and websites to help you. Yes, we've got 3 possible answers here. And according to the lecturer, when should we think about retirement? We should think about it now, they say. Yeah? Right. The tape script is on Schoology for you. Yeah, tape script with answers you can find on Schoology for you. So if I went over this too quickly, you can always rewind this video. You can always use the tape script. You can always listen to the tape script and listen to the video and read the tape script at the same time, which is quite a useful technique. Right, okay, we've got one more thing to do before we finish this lesson, and that's the dictation. So again, head over to your course page. You'll see this file, 3 minutes, 17 seconds. So listen, write down exactly what you hear. Come back to this video, I'll give you the answers, and then we are finished. Okay, so here are the answers to your dictation. Today's talk is very important for your future. I'm going to present 5 strategies. It's a big investment, certainly. Here are some statistics you should know. But you have to think about the interest. But here's one idea. You can really see your money grow. Okay, so if you wrote down most of those accurately, very, very good. Any that were difficult for you, maybe listen again. Maybe focus more on your spelling or something. Okay. Right, so hopefully this has been not just a useful lesson for your listening skills, but also to make you more financially aware. Yeah, some useful advice here. Right, okay, well that's the end of this lesson. In your next lesson you might be focusing on this microcredit. Okay, alright, until then, bye bye.